Like I've talked about in my past few videos, I'm neck deep and looking for a part-time job just between now and when we move so that we can have some extra cash because moving is expensive. And I figured that while I was in the thick of that and I had some motivation and the ball is rolling, that I would start looking at some salaried jobs. Specifically, so I've also said that I want to go the science writing route because that's what I feel like I'm most passionate about. I need to entertain the possibility that I'm not going to get a job doing that. So I want to leave all of my options open as much as possible. So that's going to mean falling back onto a math-related job, which generally speaking manifests as some type of data analyst job, some type of analytics, business analytics, finance analytics, data analytics, stuff like that. And I know a lot of that requires coding, specifically Python and most importantly SQL from what I've found. Now, I'm reasonably familiar with both of those things, but I don't know enough to say that I'm comfortable in them or to be able to do really anything in them without looking up documentation first. So what I want to do is rather trying to self-learn at that SQL from beginning to end. That would take a lot of time. That's probably going to include a lot of stuff that's not really pertinent to a data analyst position. And it's just not the most effective use of my time. So, because I have about 7 or 8 months until I'm looking for this salaried job. So what seems to me to be the smartest thing is to look up data analyst jobs on Indeed, Jobs, Monster, Craigslist, everywhere, and look at what they want. And that way I can sort of work backwards and start with the things that they want. And however much time I have to spend on those, because I might be familiar with some of those processes. They might entail other things that I have no idea what they are. I've never heard of them because, again, I'm relatively new to coding. But it seems like a much more effective use of my time to figure out what they want and then learn that stuff first rather than just trying to learn SQL beginning to end. So that's what I'm doing right now. So I just I'm on Indeed.com and I just put in data analyst. And the first three actually haven't been very specific in regards to what they want. Advanced Excel skills, okay, that's a given. Familiarity with SQL and relational databases, okay. Database and presentation software, MySQL, Access, Excel, and more. I'm not sure what Access is. Again, I'm seeing some of these things for the first time, but if I were to just learn SQL beginning to end, there's a real possibility that I might not come across one of these things. So a lot of these are looking very similar. All right, so I'm 6 or 7 in right now. A lot of these are not very specific. They just say Excel, Access, and SQL preferred. Let's look at this one. This one looks more techy. Key skills, SQL, SQL Server, Python, Data Analytics, Tableau. I've heard of Tableau before. I feel like I'm not really sure what it is. I feel like it's something similar to Excel, if I'm not mistaken. SQL and Python, Tableau is a plus. Bachelor's degree or equivalent, preferably with a focus on finance, math, stats, or data analytics. I really expected a lot more of these to be really specific about what they want. Bachelor's degree in business healthcare, 3 years experience, advanced knowledge of Microsoft Excel, so pivot tables, advanced formulas. I've never used formulas in Excel. I know you can, that capability exists. I've never done it. Seems pretty straightforward though. Where does that? Pivot table. I have no idea what a pivot table is. Sounds exciting. Run and modify SQL queries. Pretty straightforward. Experience with Microsoft Power BI. Seeing that again. And or Tableau. Ability to learn general programming such as SAS, R, SQL, etc. That's it for that one. Wow, okay. So this might be a lot more palatable than I originally. This one has nothing about what they want. SQL or Spark SQL. I guess that feels like just an IDE to me. Like Pop SQL, which is what I use. Same thing, SQL, Spark SQL. So right now on my resume, it says that I'm comfortable with Python, SQL, and Maple. Two of those are true. One, yeah, the SQL is definitely going to take some time, but a lot of people tell me that SQL is really only like a pseudo language, which I think it's definitely more of a language than R is, because I've seen R, and definitely more of a language than Maple is. All right, now let's switch over to a different website, just to be rigorous, jobs.com, and instead of data analyst, look at data scientist. If I could spell. This one's kind of a hassle because I have to open everything in a new tab because I can't go back. It's annoying. All right, what does this one want? Data scientist job. Required qualifications, quantitative research, analysis skills, competence with statistical software, Python preferred. Nice. Experience with Google Suite, and that's it. AO, I like where this is going. Senior data scientist, here we go. This should be the money maker. Let's see what they want. Python and libraries like sklearn, NumPy, SciPy, PyTorch, and TensorFlow. Okay, I know what TensorFlow is. And those other things are like Python add-ons, like NumPy or NumPy. I've seen it pronounced a lot of different ways. Is an add-on. So like when you have a script, you can just write import NumPy, and it will pull in this extra toolkit, and it'll enable you to do symbolic math. I'm pretty sure SciPy is the same way. sklearn, I'm not sure. TensorFlow, I think, is for machine learning. Various other languages, including Scala, C, C++, C#, Java, x86 assembly, Git, Spark, AWS services. I've seen Git. I think there is a language included, because I only know about GitHub in the context of the website and using it as a repository, which I do for the 2 Python small projects that I've done. But I think there's also a language associated with it. I don't know if that's a language you use within something else like Python to like import something from GitHub. Definitely look into it. Another senior data scientist. Master's preferred. Master's or PhD preferred. All right. Well, not going to go back, but let's see what they want. Proficient when it comes to SQL and Python. Cool. Experience with IoT and streaming architecture. No clue. Experience working with NLP, machine learning, and deep learning models. Experience with large data sets. Experience with using APIs. APIs have been on my list of things to utilize in some type of code or script, but I haven't figured out what I want to do. I might just do something like a very simple weather reporting thing, like using the API from the Weather Channel or something like that. All right, so I think those will give me pretty good place to start. So right now I have Excel, including advanced formulas and pivot tables, Microsoft Access, SQL Server, Tableau, Microsoft Power BI, Spark SQL, which I think is just another IDE, one that I don't use, Git APIs, semi-structured and unstructured data, machine and deep learning, optimization modeling, and then also a few other things which are kind of go without saying, but I still need to know specifically how to do them, which involves importing a table, exporting a table as some type of graph or other kind of visualization, and converting stuff into SQL tables like Excel spreadsheets or something. I don't know. I feel like all of those are extremely relevant. So all of this will give me a good place to start. I'll probably report back with what this brings me. I still have another week or so until school starts, week and a half until school starts. So I have a lot of time to throw at this and to continue applying to jobs and snooping around and seeing what's what. I will also make a video that's extremely detailed about how I'm going to apply for salaried jobs in wherever we move to, which, like I said, is pretty high probability that's going to be back in Auburn, in Alabama, which is where we were before we were here. And I've said in the past that this channel is kind of coming to a close, which I still have that sentiment, but applying for jobs is still a part of this process, right? And you don't just get a degree and then automatically get handed a salaried job. You still have to find one and figure out what makes you competitive and all of this other stuff, and the actual job hunting itself, and figure out what exactly you want and what you can get. So it's definitely still part of the process, part of the learning process, and this whole experience and journey. So I'll continue to make content about it until probably I get a job. So yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.